as an economist at the Economic Policy Research Foundation of Turkey and also the director of this Turkey 100 program. So this panel is on growth sectors, and we are going to hear about the business environment in Turkey from the successful entrepreneurs who are three of the finalists of Turkey 100 list. So we are still in the vetting process, and we are evaluating the applications, and hopefully we are going to come up with a list in September for this 100 fastest growing companies. But today, together with the Turkish delegation is made up of the finalists of Turkey 100 companies. They made up to the last stage of evaluation. So what's Turkey 100 program? First of all, I would say it's about increasing the visibility of successful entrepreneurs in Turkey. Like visibility means more customers. Visibility means like easier access to investors all around the world. And the second purpose of the program is to open up these companies to the world markets and contribute to the internationalization of processes of Turkish SMEs, successful Turkish SMEs. So last year we started with the 25 program, Turkey 25, and following up the success of this Turkey 25 program, we decided to quadruple the program to Turkey 100. So that's, in a nutshell, that's the thing that I would say about the Turkey 100 program. And I would like to thank the Aspen Institute team, especially the Tony Verstanding, Anna Navarro, and Sarah Harlan, and Jim Pickup for having us here again. Last year we had a very fruitful event for the Turkey 25 companies, and I got very positive feedback from the Turkish delegation last year, and we decided to make this happen again. I see Aspen Institute as a gateway to the US market for the Turkish companies, Turkish fast growth companies. Now I would like to give some highlights about this Turkey 100 finalists, though we don't have the final list right now, but we have like very strong companies, very strong applications who made to the last stage of the evaluation. So between the period 2010 and 2012, they grew on average 400%. So like 400% is an amazing figure. And these are not companies with 5, 6, 10 employees. They are like more than micro, like almost mid-sized and less than very large corporations. And in their size, it's very hard to grow on average 400%, I would say. Not only in Turkey, but also in like less developed countries as well. So they employed around 200 employees on average. And they are coming from a diverse set of industries. They are not all from IT, logistics, and they are coming from IT, logistics, manufacturing, furniture, like services, and very different set of industries. So that shows that there are no star sectors, but there are star companies. So a sector might be in trouble. Let's say, for example, in textile in Turkey, everybody say that like the Chinese competition is creating hard time for Turkish textile manufacturers, but we see some companies from textile industry on the list as well. So like it's possible to be successful in a troubling industry in Turkey if you have a right business model. And they are coming not only from Ankara or Istanbul, but also like they are coming from Anatolian cities like Kayseri, Konya, Gaziantep. So, and this shows that the manufacturing, the economic activity in Turkey is spreading to the entire country. It's not only stuck in metropolitan regions, but also to Anatolian cities as well. So having said this, now I think I need to introduce our panelists. So we have three of them today, and I would like to thank them to accept to take part in this panel as well. First of all, I would like to start with Emre, Emre Çenesiz. He is the general manager of Mensace marble company that has 2 marble quarries in Turkey, and it exports around like 15 countries all over the world. And Emre has had various responsibilities in several departments of the company, such as new investment, operations, and marketing departments. And he successfully completed the enlargement of the company's Tokat factory investment. A graduate of Manufacturing Systems Engineering of Sabancı University, Emre is a member of Kayseri Business People Association right now. And our second panelist is İsmail Bey, İsmail Çoksayar. İsmail is working at Geomas group of companies since 1996. And he's responsible from all technical issues and new investments of the group companies, working on construction chemicals, civil engineering, technical textiles, international trade and heat pump technologies. He established Geomas Composite company in 2009, and the company is currently one of the most prominent actors in its field and exports to 32 countries all around the world. He's a civil engineer, graduated from the Middle East Technical University, MIT of Turkey. For those of you who don't know the METÜ, Middle East Technical University, I would say it's MIT of Turkey. And İsmail has been teaching in major universities in Turkey, and he's a member of Chamber of Civil Engineers. And Halit Bey, he is the CEO and partner of Reysas. It's a logistics company. And he joined that company in 2006 and transformed it into a supply chain software house, and he oversaw the development of the first web-based warehouse management system in Turkey. And Halit broadened the company's range of products, and in 2009, Reysas started a vendor-managed inventory project with a global consumer electronics company. So the success of this project provided a pan-European expansion in 2010, and as of now, Reysas systems are used in more than 20 countries. He also BS in computer engineering from METÜ again, which is in Ankara. So I know for the last 2 weeks you are hearing like very negative news about Turkey, the protests and disproportionate response of the riot police, but today we are here to tell you a positive story about Turkey. And I would like to start with İsmail Bey, actually. And maybe in the first section of the panel, participants would like to tell about their companies and their industries in general, and what they do and how their industry is doing in Turkey in general. İsmail.
Okay, thank you very much. Our company is Geomas Composite. We are producing a geosynthetic clay liner. Geosynthetics are a sector, a developing sector all around the world, mostly for civil engineering and environmental projects. Geosynthetics always gives some economical solutions with high quality, with the ease of quality control, and can be used as reinforcing materials or drainage materials or waterproofing materials. Our product GCL is in fact a clay liner, meaning that we are using some geotextiles and a clay, producing a composite, which is used as a waterproofing membrane, a barrier, mostly used in environmental projects like landfills, waste disposal areas, mining areas. So the main concern is in fact protecting the environment against the hazardous materials. Of course, there are also another way of using is in the canals, lagoons, etc. for the clean water purposes. So it is a big market all around the world, but we have an advantage that geosynthetics are new for the sector. New means more than 15 years, 20 years, but when you look to the civil engineering sector, 20 years is new for such kind of applications. In any way, our company is one of the 5 international producers in Europe, and in the world there are less than 10 producers around the world who are active internationally. So in a very short time period we became one of the 5 in Europe. This is why we have good advantage to sell around the world up to 32 countries till now. So this is just a quick overview of what we are talking about.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I think the market size, like for your company or for your industry, is expanding as Turkey become more like cautious about the environmental things in the country, the European Union process and the other things.
Of course, for example,
landfills
landfills and others for the environmental aspects, it is enlarging. But in the world, for example, mining facilities are enlarging. For us, the booming markets are South American market or African market related with the mining projects. Because when you look to the amount of the projects or how big we will sell, a landfill is, or a mining project is sometimes more than 100 times bigger than a landfill. So the main aspect is in fact landfills. But when we talk about landfills, it is tailing them. They are using cyanide, sulfuric acid that will again try to protect the environment from the effects of these hazardous materials.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Emre.
Firstly, I would like to thank you both TOBV, TEPAV, and Aspen Institutes, and also these all people for your coming. Actually, our company is based in Kayseri. It's one of the tigers of Anatolia. And we have been working in this business since 2008. Although we are new in this sector, our growth rate is about 10 times in 4 years. And if we are comparing with this to the governmental growth and the sector growth, it's higher. Anyway, marble sector is very fast in Turkey because it's 40% of the marble in the world belongs to Turkey. Turkey is producing nearly 40% of marble and travertines all over the world. And 10 years ago, in 2002, our annual export rate was about $300 million. But today it's about $2 billion. So it's expanding. Still, this process is going on. In 2023, we are expecting it to be 10 or $15 billion, something like that. Today, in the past, we were competing with low technical countries. I mean, in marble business, Italy, Spain, or some other small countries were the trademarks of all over the world. But today we are competing with them, and we passed them actually. We passed Italy, we passed Spain, but for the amount of the square meter. But we are trying to increase our unit prices, and we are about to approach it. And now Italians, Spanish people, or Chinese people are coming to Turkey and investing their monies on this business. So
I think back in 10 years ago, like Turkey had this rich marble sources and was an important exporter. But at that time, we were exporting marble as blocks, just raw marble materials. But now, I believe, with the rise of companies like yours, now we are exporting processed marble goods for like construction or interior design purposes. Am I right?
Actually, this $2 billion export rate, annual export rates, about $800 million parties belongs to China. We are selling China just raw blocks. But the difference is China is buying only raw material. They don't buy finished processed material. This is their government policy. We cannot change their government policy, but we are the winner over there.
Yeah.
And also we are trying to be the winner in America, in United States, in Saudi Arabia, in Libya. For the processing part, last 2 years, Turkey has established too many factories.
Yeah.
And it's increasing.
Yeah, in the markets that we compete with, Spain and Italy, for example,
Yes.
of course we are not competing with the block materials, like the unprocessed materials.
Also,
but
we are competing. Also, we are
Oh.
competing with them. I mean,
Okay.
also Spanish and Italian companies are selling their blocks, but we had some chances. Firstly, our governments support us to produce and to export our materials. And secondly, our laborers are hard worker now. I don't know why.
we are going to discuss the sources
Yes.
of success in the next
Okay.
section. Okay. Now, like Halit Bey, Reysas Tech.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I introduced myself during my question in the previous session, but let me repeat. My name is Halit Develioğlu. I'm managing Reysas Tech, a supply chain management technology company. And let's give some background information about our company here. In our portfolio, we have very different products related with supply chain management, like warehouse management systems for logistic providers, automated replenishment systems for retail, and statistical forecasting tools for manufacturers. In more than 20 countries in Europe, our systems are being used right now. And we have offices in Turkey in major cities. And in Ankara, in Bilkent University campus, not in Metro, unfortunately, because there is a huge queue of other companies waiting for approval.
Bilkent is the school that I graduated, and it's also like as good as Metro.
Second MIT in Turkey.
Yes, second MIT, let's say.
Yeah, and we have a research and development office there, and we can, in that office, we can enjoy the academic cooperation into our projects from industrial engineering, software engineering, and statistics departments. And in Reysas Tech, we believe in continuous innovation, and saying is not that difficult, but executing is very hard, as you know. But we have a different strategy to fulfill this, because in 2012, we have created a logistics operation department in our technology company. So we have opened small-scale warehouses in various locations in Turkey, covering a whole scale. And using our latest technologies there, we wanted to have a real-world hands-on experience, trying to drive this innovation in our products. And we have established a triangle, like the technology development and academic cooperation and hands-on real-world experience together. And within this triangle, I believe we can continue this innovation, and it is our key for the success of our company. And to talk about the supply chain management in general, as you know, all the markets are going very cost conscious, and cost is a big concern, and logistics is always an additional cost that you have to put on top of your services, on your products. And especially on the logistics area, every company is very cost conscious. So in general, not only for logistics, but in general in supply chain management, companies are going more and more automized, more systemized, and they are trying to get rid of the manual management business processes in their own companies, and trying to have some systems in place where they can analytically manage their procurements and purchases like that. So within this sector, we see a huge potential, not in Turkey and also in global scale, because we have the experience, because of the location of the Turkey. As you know, it's a very important bridge between Europe and Asia, so there are big logistics providers in Turkey, and trying to form a cooperation inside Turkey and trying to spread it to Europe, we see a huge potential there.
So, like, there are lots of other logistics software companies in both Europe and Turkey.
Yeah.
So what makes you different? I mean, what was the source of this astonishing growth rate in the last 3 years?
Yes, actually, we will I will try to cover that part in detail.
By the way, he is not telling you, but the growth rate of Reysas Tech was around 7,000% like per year. So you basically started with something like $500,000, and you reached in 2010, and they reached around like $25 million or
25 million
25 Turkish liras.
Liras, 10 million euro, we can say. We closed last year. So I can say that, as I previously explained, the combination, the triangle, not only trying to develop a software, but trying to get some academic vision into it, and also just pulling your sleeves and also trying to experience, trying to use your own products into that sector by yourself, and trying to constantly pull some feedback from that operation and implement it into your own tools is our, I think, main key factor for our success.
Okay. What's your success story then?
Actually,
What are the reasons?
what are the reasons? Actually, we work hard, really. I mean, really hard. Because
More than the rest.
yes, more than the rest. Because in Turkey, mining sector is profits are very high. I mean, if you are comparing the companies each other, the sector's profitability is very high. That's why the other companies are generally like to be stable. They are getting money. The profit is enough for them. We thought differently because we are not a mining and marble guys. Actually, this is not a very new business. This is a very new business for us. But we had a 50 years old industrial mind, and we thought we should be bigger. We should grow large, faster. That's why we worked out hard, I think, because we till the last 1 hour we still think about should we go there. I mean, it is a very nice project. It is a very nice instant, but we thought, do we have enough time? The other part is I think God help us. I think this is the most important part for me.
Okay.
I don't know.
Good.
And
Okay, thank you. Ismail.
Thank you. I don't think that God is helping us.
Me neither. It was really, really hard for us to achieve.
or he doesn't love us. In any way, what we believe is our innovative culture in our group of companies and also Turkey is it is a perfect match with the dynamism also of the Turkish economy. And another thing is we establish our production in Turkey, in Istanbul, which is giving us an enormous advantage for transportation. It is important to understand what we are producing, because we are producing something very heavy and very cheap. So we have to export it, and to export these heavy materials all around the world, the transportation costs are enormous. And also there are many local producers, and when there is a local producer, it is normally a market entry barrier for us, because there is a producer there, they are cheap there, and I have to pay more than 30% of my real cost, or sometimes 50% of my real cost is transportation, and I have to be cheap there. So we use the advantage of Istanbul as being a hub. As Mr. Onur already said, Istanbul is getting a transportation hub. For example, I have a competitor in Malaysia, and I am selling from Istanbul to Malaysia, because on global containers movements, always containers are coming full from Far East to Turkey and going back empty from Turkey to Far East. So I am cheap there. My transportation costs are good. Today I am selling to Chile, to Malaysia, from Canada to Gulf countries all around the world. This is one of the advantages of Turkey. This is very important. Another thing is we are using a multidisciplinary working. Like I'm a civil engineer, but I have to know about chemistry, I have to know about pharmaceuticals, all other things, because we have to give an innovation. It is very important. For example, I am using a special material which is in fact a well-known material in medical sector, but a civil engineer don't understand anything from that. So we are combining different areas, and this innovation gives us power. And of course, we have to sell what we are producing. There is a rule for marketing and sales, which is called as 4P. You have to have a product, you have to a good product to sell, you have to need a place to sell. For example, if you are selling at Starbucks, you need a corner shop to sell it well. And of course, you have to have a good price, and you have to give promotions. So this is the 4 Ps: product, place, price, and promotion. We don't have them. We are not giving a product, we are giving a solution. This is the most important thing. Because if somebody asks about a product, I cannot be competitive in international markets. So if somebody just gives me a specification and asks that product, okay, I can be expensive. But I am giving a solution. This is the most important thing. Instead of giving a product, solutions is important. Place, I am selling to 32 countries for today, but I don't have any place in them. I don't have a marketing manager there, I don't have an office there, nothing. But we have accessibility, we have access. This is very important. For example, 2 months before I was in United States in Long Beach for an international symposium. In many countries, they know us, they know our company. Why? Because we are taking place in international symposiums, seminars, and all other things. We are giving some technical papers, etc. In any way, they have access to us, but we are not there. And also, this is the cheap way. Having an office all around the world is not so cheap in any way. About the price, we don't have a price also. We have a value. This is important because when you just enter a price discussion with any of your customers, you will lose in any way. There is no way to win that discussion. But we just gave them a value that really they love to buy from us. And the other thing is promotion. Even a pen never I gave as a promotion. Sorry for that. But we gave educations. This is the most important thing. In every sales meeting or in every area that we are going, we are not giving a promotion, but we are giving educations. We are just trying to explain the people or the engineers how they have to design, what are the things that they have to care about, and etc. So I think this is our way how we were good in this business, because I haven't taken an education about this 4P before, so we didn't use it.
Great. So do you have an R&D department?
Yes, we have an R&D department in our company. Also, we have an R&D company in our group. This is the most important thing for us because a clay liner means simply saying a carrying textile, a bentonite, and a cover textile. But we are continuously developing new materials. For example, one of my customers is producing gold, a gold mine, and they are using a cyanide, which is hazardous to the environment and people. Even a drop can kill everybody here. But, for example, we are developing by our chemists a new, not a bentonite, in fact, it's called an organic clay that we can hold cyanide. This is very important. So instead of selling a clay liner, now we are giving an organic clay material which can just stop their problem, because this is the solution for them. They are only facing the cyanide problem, and we can stop that problem. And this is only possible with the R&D. There is no other chance.
Great.
I would like to contribute to some of the points Ismail has described. He mentioned about turning a disadvantage into an advantage. Actually, there's also something that I want to share from our company history, which is not that long actually. But I can say that I became a partner of this company in 2006, and when it took some time for me, for sure, to understand what is going on, what we are going to do. And in 2008, when I was just feeling myself ready to do some things, as you know, there was a global economic downturn. And suddenly I found myself in that situation. And we had some products that we were planning to sell. Till that time, we did the software developments for them. And none of the customers were really interested because, as you know, till a crisis happens, everyone is talking about the increase in efficiency, operational excellence. But when there is a crisis, everyone is talking about cost cut down, headcount reduction, and these kind of topics become the trending topics between the top executives of the companies. So we couldn't make any sale within the existing portfolio that we had at that time. So we had many sessions, many brainstorming sessions, what we can do in this kind of a situation. Then we wanted to analyze what are their problems right now. Yes, they cannot make a sale, but consequently, they are having too much inventory. Both the suppliers and both the dealers are having too much inventory with a very limited sale. And then we said, okay, let's start working on a system which is a platform that you integrate all the stock and sales information of the suppliers and dealers in a common platform. And for the procurement process, the purchase order process, if we can design it to be triggered by the consumer sales, we understood that there will be not much too high stock levels for the slow mover products, or in case there is a good sale for some fast moving products, the related stock level will be justified within this platform. And then we started to have meetings with this project with the potential customers, and that global consumer electronic company in their Turkish operation, they agreed to make a pilot. And we did it in west coast of Turkey, in Izmir. And in 6 months' time, after the pilot, we found ourselves doing a Turkey scale project. And in 12 months' time, after the Turkish pilot kickoff, we were kicking off the pan-European pilot in Italy and Switzerland. So in this kind of a crisis situation, we wanted to find some things that we can utilize to be converted as an advantage. for ourselves. And this is very key, I believe, that I wanted to share with you. And as Ismail said, it is very important not to just give a product for your customers. We are also, although we have systems and we can say that of course it's a product, but there are some occasions that they cannot internally handle some business processes. We also provide some workflow through our company to manage that business process, to manage that system.
Tailor-made.
Yes,
solutions.
Tailor-made solutions, but in their internal organization, their organizational structure sometimes lacks some professional positions to be eligible to manage that business process. So when it comes to there, the business process is redirected to our company. We manage that business process in the name of our customer, then we deliver the result, and we hand over that business process again back to the originating company. This is very important to provide a service. I completely agree with you, Ismail, that these are very, very important key points for the success of a company.
I think your remarks boil down to one point. I mean, Turkey is, like 10 years ago, Turkey used to have $4,000 per capita income, and now it has like slightly more than $11,000 per capita income. And as you economically develop, then the labor costs, logistic costs, and these sort of things are increasing, and you suddenly become uncompetitive, like against the low-cost Asian countries, let's say. And how are you going to survive in the global marketplace? Then the solution comes to resource efficiency, the business that you are doing actually. You provide like some resource efficiency solutions to your customers, and you are doing R&D. I was like shocked that you have chemists working in your R&D department, but because normally in Turkey you see mathematicians like physicists or chemists doing like some working in banking industry, or like teaching in high schools, or let's say instructing some like private tutoring and these sort of things. And having someone working in your company, a chemist, is a great achievement and shows the source, a very important success, like source of success of your company, I believe.
Just let me also add something else, because as I said at the beginning, we are making a multidisciplinary system. There are only 5 international producers of this product in Europe and less than 10 in the world, as I said. So if you go to a machine producer and ask for a geosynthetic clay liner production line, there is nothing like that. This is the most important thing, because in our company, in our group, we have mechanical engineers, civil engineers, or designers, chemists, all others. First, we design our production line from the white paper. We design everything except one part, a needle loom, which is the needle punching system, not an important part, but this is the only machinery we bought. We first designed, then we construct our production facility. So first we produced a geosynthetic clay liner production facility, then we started to produce with this machine. But during production of this production facility, we really designed something, not a rocket science, but in front of all my competitors. Today, my production speeds are minimum 3 times higher than my competitors. This is why I am cheap. As I designed my production line, sometimes somebody is, while giving a solution, I can even change my production system and my machinery because I designed it. This flexibility gives the real result on the international market. For a standard producer, if you take a product, if you just buy a production line, you have to sell what it is producing. But sometimes my customers ask something new, something different. Or just they are thinking a very easy thing. For example, you are rolling a material like that. This is how machine works. But they want it to roll like this, on the reverse one. For a standard producers, this is not easy. For me, it is only a 3 minutes job. My technicians goes to the machine, just change two motors, and I can produce it. Okay. So this is very important because, as I said, when you go to the market, you cannot buy a production facility like that. Mm-hmm. For example, in marble industry, you can go and buy the best cutters or other things, etc. This is something related with finance. But even with money, you cannot buy my facility. This is important. Yeah. We first developed our production facility.
Okay. Actually, that's why I would like to add something. Actually, their business are very different than mine. I mean, you are producing something, EOQ system, economical order quantity. You are producing something, it's service, and not product oriented. Your system is customer oriented, but for me it's product oriented. The material that I'm producing, everybody is producing. I mean, in Turkey, more than 1,500 small, middle, and big marble production companies. That's why I have to use 4P. I have to use. Yeah. But there are two important parts. In Turkey, and for my company, and I think for your companies, speed is very important.
Definitely.
Turkey is very fast. I mean, people are fast. People are take decisions easy, not too high time. I mean, and the second one is trust. In the past, there is a trust problem about Turkey. And the other foreigners didn't trust us, I think. But now we are breaking this idea. I mean, for example, for my customers in the past, maybe 2 years ago, 1 year ago, I don't know, we are producing something that they can buy. But now we are selling our brand. I mean, normally we were selling some kind of marble to them, some kind of beige marble from a specific quarry. But now I'm buying from another quarry, and serving them, please buy it, and they trust me. Okay, I can buy this. Good. Because they trust me that I can supply to them. In the past, there was a trust problem, but now we can get their trust, and we can supply them in a small time.
So building trust is important, as you said. So my last question was about the investment climate in Turkey and our panelists' view on the investment climate in Turkey as well, like building upon their experience in doing business in Turkey. But now I would like to open the floor for questions. And yes, please. Because we have like 15 minutes left, so it's better to go with questions and answers. Yes, please.
Hi, my name is Nicholas Boros. Hello. My name is Nicholas Boros. I'm Department of Energy, Russian and Eurasian Affairs. And I had two questions. One is, there's been a fair amount of energy efficiency regulation passed in Turkey in the last decade. I'd like to hear if it's impacted your business at all. And then the other is, what do you think are some strong areas of innovation in Turkey that can be offered to foreign partners? To put it another way, what is some specialized knowledge that Turkish companies can offer to foreign partners?
Let me try to get the second question. I think we don't have anything special that only Turkish people know, but the rest of the world doesn't know. I don't think that anything like this can happen in this kind of information exchange world. So only we can talk about some way of working, way of doing business that can be different from the rest of the countries. And as far as I see, and I think it has already been said that Turkish population is 75 million, and half of this population is younger than 30 years old. I am 30 years old, and I am old for my rest of half of my population in my country. Can you imagine this? So I think this is a very, very important asset for Turkey to bring innovation, to bring ambition, and to bring a different flavor in the global economy.
What to add is you ask about areas which is rising in Turkey, in fact. Just talking about our group, we are really giving chemical or mostly construction chemical R&D out of Turkey. And construction sector, chemical sector is developing really very fast in Turkey. And our R&D on these sectors are very effective.
Regarding the energy efficiency, I would say a couple of words about it. So Turkey is a manufacturing country at the end of the day. And Turkey is a rapidly urbanizing country as well. So the energy efficiency in buildings and energy efficiency in industry is an utmost priority of the government and as well as the private sector. And there are some positive achievements on that front as well. And we are cooperating with the Department of Energy. Probably you know the Near Zero Zone project, which you conducted in Izmir Atatürk Organized Industrial Zone. And you identified 20 companies, I believe, and audited the energy efficiency situation of these companies. And the results were like fascinating. The payback period of these energy efficiency investments are quite low. So there is a huge potential, and the government is currently supporting these energy efficiency enhancing investments of the Turkish private sector. Any other questions? Yes.
Susan Finston, Finston Consulting. I've been to Istanbul only once. Really found it to be a beautiful capital. It has to be on everyone's bucket list to spend more time in Turkey with the heritage and the culture. I was wondering what role you think these dynamic companies in the private sector can play in helping to build stronger communication through civil society with the government to ensure sustainable growth, inclusive growth, and to get back to full conversations about all of our future trade investment with Turkey and away from some of the more recent headlines that we've seen.
Saying the truth, when government discussed something, that was the main problem, that they were discussing in their own circle. That was the main reason of these things in Istanbul. But government also started to discuss everything, not only in their own circle, but also with all others. It is a strong government which came with the 50% of the votes. So that force at the beginning gave them a really
Arrogance.
Yeah, arrogance. But now they understand that the other 50% also needs to be listened. And they started to listen. Of course, they are making these discussions through, not directly with the companies, but with the Chamber of Commerce and others. TOBB is also
yes.
in these discussions. So it's going good, really going good.
So when it comes to public-private sector dialogue mechanisms, Turkey is very open, I would say. The dialogue channels are open. TOBB and other business organizations can discuss important issues with their counterparts in the government. It can be ministers, it can be undersecretaries of different government departments, and I would say the government is very responsive to the needs of the private sector as well. So recent headlines you talked about, it was about, I think, the centralized administrative structure of Turkey. Let's say in New York City, for example, the New York City has the authority to collect taxes and then use these taxes for the education and for the security and these sort of issues in the city. Mayor Bloomberg does all these things, and the city council. But in Istanbul, the story is different. Everything is managed from the by the central government from Ankara. And there, like, the dialogue channels for the Istanbul, for the people living in Istanbul, and they are not integrated to the decision-making processes in Istanbul, let's say. But now it's changing. So since after these protests, and the government decided to be more responsive to the needs, to the demands of environmentalists in Istanbul too. Today, for example, the Istanbul municipality announced that they are going to plant around 7,000 trees in Taksim Square, which is a positive achievement. I think, yes, you're right, we had some negative headlines in the last 2 weeks, but for the future, these headlines turn out to be an opportunity for the Turkish democracy, I would say.
If you visit Turkey in the next 6 months, something like that, in Istanbul, you could see a better city.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Martina Bozadjeva, Frontier Strategy Group. I wanted to go back to the question of exports for a moment. It seems like all of your companies in one way or another are engaged in exporting and working with markets outside of Turkey. 2 questions related to that. One is, in which global regions do you see the biggest opportunity for growth? Is it in Western Europe, the US, or are we looking at other emerging markets? And then second question is, within your internal organizations, what kind of capabilities do you need to develop to more effectively export and serve global markets? Thank you.
For the first question, for my business, we have to be where the constructions are. I mean, if we are talking about Europe, in these days Europe is not very well, but I hope it will be better. If we are talking about United States, for my job, the second largest export place of my country is United States. This $2 billion, $300 million parties belongs to United States. That's why here could be a good market for us. Apart from United States, of course, our biggest markets are Middle Eastern countries and some Middle Asian countries, something Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, and also East Asian, China, India, something like that.
When I talk about our point of view, as I said, geosynthetics are new. So there are some already countries which knows this business, for example, Europe, but there is no job in Europe for today. As a booming market, the biggest market for me is the mining sector. So Africa and South America is really booming for us. But for an already established market, United States is also a good market for me, because states are already, there are some movements here, but European market already stopped. So our exports are, of course, we are exporting to Europe, and we are, I think, giving 30% of the whole European market. But the booming part will be South America and Africa, and we are also trying to develop our sales to United States.
And for us, in our next year's strategy, we would like to focus on the retail sector. So US is a very big potential for our expansion plans in the company, and this is why I'm here. And what we lack and what we need to establish in our internal organization to develop this business further is, I think we have to, if I need to criticize my own company, we have to establish a business development department, because all this business developed by the business that we have output so far. But besides this execution, we have to have some kind of a business development team focusing on the new markets, trying to create some awareness in some other countries. So I believe it is very, very important for our company to develop this team.
Also, I have to add something which I believe very important. There are different understandings of countries. For example, in Turkey, when you say that a Chinese product, this is correct or not discussing, but a Turkish people will think that a Chinese product is a low quality material. When you say that a German material, everybody say that, okay, it's a strong, a very good product. A Japanese product, innovative product. So there are some understandings. So when you look from America to Turkey, what do you feel? This is the most important thing. And when they look from Africa to Turkey, or when they look to Middle East to Turkey, or from Europe to Turkey, it is always changing. And saying the truth, this is not one of our best part that everybody loves Turkey, because the understanding about Turkish producers has to be developed. They don't know us. This is very easy, because today when I am going to Europe, last 2 weeks I was in Germany, I gave some educations, etc. And they said that we took the same education from United States, and saying the truth, their educations is nearly zero instead of your education. Or when we compare your products, they are much more innovative and better than their product. So, but I can reach to 20 people there, not 200 million of European Union. This is the most important thing, and we need time. This is really a time matter.
Question?
Rob Quartel, and I own a technology company in Northern Virginia, and have been to Turkey on a number of occasions. Kind of following up on some of your questions, your answers. How important is your actual integration into the EU to your business potential in the future? And that also relates to the way we view Turkey. If you're facing the MENA and all those countries, you get viewed one way, and if you're facing and integrated into the EU, you get viewed another way. And I'm fully aware of the 360 policy, but you asked the question how we view you. The second question, and I see this frequently in these Aspen sessions, there's a real difference, a deliberate difference between the business community and how it tracks and governments. So in the United States, businesses take a very keen interest in how the government operates and how it protects their rights, both as companies and the rights of their employees, both as individuals. So in the US, we would look at Toxin Square and say businesses would support probably everybody who is in the square, because they're out for a set of rights that we accept. But I don't see that in your country, actually, or in Palestine or Jordan, or actually I see more integration in Jordan, where I also do business, but I don't see it in Egypt, and I don't see it in Pakistan, I don't see it in any of these countries. There's a real difference. We'll do our business, you, the government, do your thing, we'll just live with it. So do you see businesses taking a greater role in political sector in Turkey? So the two questions, EU and the facing there, and the second question, business and integrating, having a point of view about government.
Let me start with the second question, and you can take the first one.
Okay, I will go for the first one.
So, the business community's reaction to the protests in Taksim. So what they said was, the message is well taken, we believe. And it's now time to go back to home. Because after some point, these protests turn out to be like some violent protests. I mean, in the beginning it was peaceful, like for environmentalists, and they didn't want to demolishment of this Gezi Park in Taksim Square. But after some point, like, it turned out to be a violent thing, and the shops and all these things, all the businesses in Taksim Square get negatively affected from it. And what they gave, the message that they sent to government was, okay, you need to strengthen the democracy in Turkey, and you need to draft, you need to open the way for drafting a new constitution that will strengthen the people in front of the government itself. So, like, by doing that, I believe they supported the people in the streets to some degree.
So the pressure to change needs to be continuous. And if you put 7,000 trees in Taksim Square, you will never be able to have a protest there again. So it may beautify it, but it also removes it from the political context. So I hear what you're saying, but were any of you at Taksim? And how did you feel about the two questions I asked, the EU and pushing the government?
First of all, looking from the business part and also from the democracy part. I was in Taksim together with my small daughter. So there were no violence there. We were there for several hours. So it was a democratic action. And my daughter asked me, why we are here? I said that, although it will not change anything, but we have to show our face, or our way, what we are thinking. This is the most important thing. And believe me, of course, there are some small groups who are making this violence, but there were millions of people like me went there, even with small babies. I saw on site less than 1 year old babies. So, of course, there are some violence. But when you look at the population of this violence, not 5 people, but maybe 50 people, 100 people are somewhere making some violence, but millions of people there, together with families, like me. In any way, from EU point of view, and as a businessman, what I'm thinking about EU. First of all, every business has to be a win-to-win situation. 20 years before, 25 years before, Turkey was looking for some funds coming from EU, and EU were looking for the market of Turkey. So it had to be a win-to-win situation. We will be opening our market to them, and they will be sending some funds to Turkey. But we lost the game. We opened our markets with the customs union. So they said that, sorry, we cannot be entering to Turkey, European Union. Why? I have been several times in Bulgaria, in Romania. Now they are in EU. But situation in Bulgaria and Romania are completely a very, very low level compared to Turkey. So you have to understand that part. Why Turkey is not in EU? Is it because of some other problems? No, if the problems they mentioned are even there in Bulgaria, Romania, so why Turkey is out? But we opened the market. Today, as an exporter from Turkey to Europe, they don't like me. There is a producer of my product in UK. I am selling to UK. There is a producer of my product in Spain. I am selling to Spain. There is a producer in Italy. I am selling to Italy. And as a producer in Turkey, also there is no custom taxes for me. I can sell directly. There are some small disadvantages because you know, although there is no custom taxes, they have to pay VAT while they are entering the customs, etc. But at the beginning, European companies used the advantages of custom unions to sell products to Turkey. Now they started to get afraid from this custom union because Turkey started to sell them, and they just try to stop this. This is the main problem.
A quick one. Yeah. For the EU part, I can say that it's not like in a laboratory that you are doing tests and you can measure the before and after of situation of Turkey within this European joining. But my personal feeling, ideas about us joining EU is that I want Turkey to be in a standard level, having some standards, to be able to join EU. So all the regulations, all the legislations, laws should be in that standard, I guess. And I think we have done so much progress there in the last few years. But when it comes to the decision that we are on that level and we make a decision, are we going to join or not, I think for the growth of the economy, it will not be that positive for Turkey to join EU. So I don't support Turkey to become an EU member. And for the politics part of your question, if my personal idea, if I wanted to do politics, I would start a political party, or I would join an existing political party. I totally disagree the politics inside the business world, even in the for this side or for that side, because you are doing business. It is not the holiest thing in the world. You manufacture something for $3 and you sell it not for $3. You sell it making some profit, and this is how you can survive. It's a survival mode if you open a business. So it's completely understandable, especially even in this democratic environment in Turkey, that the companies are silent because this government got the 50% of the votes. So it is an equilibrium level. There is an equilibrium in Turkey. So imagine statistically, the top executives of every single company should be on the government side and the other side, statistically. So this silence maybe happens because of this 50-50 equilibrium, not because that for some other reasons. This is my point of view. But it is very important to not to put so much value and how can I say, holiness into the business. Business is a business, corporation is a corporation, a civil organization is a civil organization, and politics is politics. And of course, I totally support companies, especially big, strong global companies, to do some social responsibility actions, programs in the countries that they operate, but this shouldn't interfere with the politics. It should be for the sake of the humanity, for the country. But politics is politics, what I think.
Yes. For EU part, for the first question, 6-7 years ago, I think to joining the EU was one of the most important issues of Turkey. I mean, everybody is talking about, are we gonna join the EU? How we gonna join EU? Why they are not taking us? But now, actually, EU part is something else. I mean, nobody is talking about it. Everybody forgot it.
EU in 10 years' time.
Yes.
Maybe there won't be any EU.
It's not the hot topic anymore.
I don't know. We don't know actually. Yes, we are doing, as you said, we are doing some progresses. I mean, about education, about culture, about law. in these kind of processes, making us to live in a better environment. That's why this is good. But as you said, are we going to join when the time comes? If this government stays, I don't think so. And for the second question, I haven't been in Taksim. Many of my friends gone. They were talking about everything. Yes, some bad things happened, but the associations made the what they should apart from business. They didn't say something for not for business. They told on the in front of the TVs just to this is something they should do. I mean, as a I don't know the word in English. STKs in Turkey.
Civil society.
Civil societies. And for the if you are talking about trade, for example, trade unions in Turkey, some of them they wanted to use this incident. I mean, they called the people who are their members not to work, but nothing happened. Everybody is working, so that means yes, there happened some undemocratical things, but everybody understands, and now both government and both the people who are against the government maybe are respectful each other, more respectful each other, in my opinion.
The last question. You have.
I have no questions.
Shilnan was supposed to ask a question.
It's coming there.
There is a question from you.
I have sort of like a statement and a question too. In response to Halit's comment around business and government, and in the context of the question around Taksim Square, I mean, it wasn't too long ago that we had Occupy New York, Occupy Washington, which was sort of certain sectors of society saying we want to participate more, we are challenging the status quo. And I think that's happening in a lot of countries, right? I think part of what needs to be understood is in certain parts of the world, democracy is still nascent, it's new, right?
We are short of time. So
sure, and so I guess my question is, to kind of get to the question is, what do you see in, so if looking to Europe isn't really the answer, right? As a business, as a leader in your businesses, you know, how do you see growth in Turkey kind of taking place? Is it going to be through business relationships? Is it going to be through the government being, you know, just creating the environment and letting businesses do what they need to do? Like, how do you see that dynamic really taking place so that it really benefits Turkish businesses and Turkish people?
You mean the development in business or on the democracy side?
In business is really what my question is, but I think they kind of go hand in hand on some level. So if you want to address both.
I think for the growth in democracy, what we need is to provide better education for the crowds, even on the very eastern part of Turkey. I think that is very important. And for that part, maybe businesses can take some responsibility and try to move their some plants, some production plants onto their areas, trying to give some opportunities for the humans there, for the people there. And for the business part, I think the economical growth is going to be continuing within this situation. If you take, if you see in a bigger picture and try to address the place of Turkey, I think the economic growth is going to continue regardless of the protests or this kind of problems we will have, on the political side.
Just a small thing I want to say. My company was working in 2 shifts, and last week after these protests we started to work in 3 shifts. So these are all democratic things and really improving the people. They are feeding some people that they are believing in democracy more and more. So just look from the business side. I am now producing more in the last 2 weeks. Nothing directly related with that, but at least I just want to show you that these protests are not destroying something in Turkey. They are just developing something in Turkey, and this is important.
And one thing about protests, as a result of these protests, we saw the creative potential of the society in Turkey as well, which was like quite fascinating.
Yes.
I can tell you more about it during lunch. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.